text us. So, okay. So we're off to a good start. Are you feeling good?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little nervous, but we'll see how everything goes.
Okay. Nervous. What's making you nervous?
Just making sure I can get it ready, and then I mean, I know a lot of things need fixed, so just kind of seeing budget wise how I can accommodate everything and go from there.
Well, and we are going to talk about that today because I kind of have two courses of action for you, and you're going to have to kind of pick the path, especially once we get all of the numbers in place. What was the carpet budget?
That one, it's gonna be the quote came back at $3,584, which is fine. I think that's pretty reasonable.
Okay. Yep. And that's probably something that kind of on either side of what we're going to talk about today probably is going to be super important.
Mhm.
And just the age of your house, right? I don't know when the carpet was put in, but there's only so much. I
Yeah.
mean, I have an awesome carpet cleaner, but at some point it's just got to go, right?
Oh
So,
yeah.
um, and then we'll talk through because Delane had some maybe recommendations on color and stuff. And so we might as well go ahead and get some of that streamlined if we're going to be doing some of this work. So if it's okay with you, Jared, where I'm going to start is just kind of the process and how it's going to work from beginning to end. Then we'll go into pricing, your net proceeds of your house, and then we'll end with paperwork. So that's kind of the flow of today. And then I'm pretty easy going. Stop me if you have any questions. And it's okay if you feel a little bit overwhelmed after today, and just know we'll eat the elephant one bite at a time. Okay.
Sounds
So,
good. Yeah, I kind of reviewed everything that you sent me, so I think I have a good idea what to expect.
okay, good. Well, I'm going to just go through it quickly with you today just to make sure it'll be a good reminder because this is the first house you will have sold, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. All right. So it's going to be vacant. So we're going to get it virtually staged. So we don't need to worry about the packing. As we get closer, I guess it really depends on John and James's timeline, but we want to get your pre-inspection done. Probably if we're going to have them start the beginning of May, I'd say mid-March or mid-April, excuse me, for your pre-inspection. And everything on here is my cost. So this is not an additional cost to your
Okay.
bottom line, okay? The point of the pre-inspection is a couple of things. So one, if there are issues, we can take care of them. And generally, we can take care of them for a lot more cheaply than when we get in the process with another agent, okay? A lot of agents are knowledgeable in the construction space, and we'll get some crazy quotes. James can do literally almost anything. And I'm not going to recommend you fix everything, but it's just a good idea to get a handle. And this is just looking at the major components. It's not checking every outlet and every window, but it is going to look at your HVAC, your roof, big ticket items, just to make sure that we don't have anything that needs to be addressed. A lot of times an HVAC service comes up, and I have another great guy that I've worked with forever, Ned, for HVAC. So, so probably do that mid-April, and as long as your renters will work with us, which I think they will, but it'll take Rick, my inspector, maybe about an hour and a half. Okay.
Yeah, and then just so
then,
you know, the outside of the buildings here are taken care of by the HOA. That includes the roof and the windows.
oh, okay, wonderful.
Yeah, and then as far as the only HVAC things I have is the AC unit, the water heater, and the furnace, which all got replaced within the past 2 years. So we should be looking good there.
Oh, we should be looking real good then.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So we probably don't have anything to work through then. Honestly, I don't think we might need a pre-inspection then. Because if roof is
Okay.
HOA, really that's what I'm having them to come look at is roof, water, heater, HVAC. And then if there's just any glaring issues, which Delane probably would have noticed or you would notice, like if we have a structure issue or a major water leak or something that's like, hello, we're going to try to sell this house. We want to get it taken care of. Okay, I will leave that up to you then. I don't necessarily think we need a pre-inspection because those are really the what we were going to address if we already know that those are replaced. So we'll put that on the back burner if you decide that you'd like one, just to make sure. I'm happy to do that.
Okay.
Your floor plans will come into play. That generally happens at the time that we do your photos. But just thinking through this, I could even get them in there earlier. No. Sorry. Let me think this through. I need to wait on floor plans because if after today, the path that you want is to add that third bedroom. We got to wait until we've added your third bedroom. So floor plans are going to be a bit up in the air. I do that. Your square footage is not equaling up. I do it on every house because it's important for an analytical buyer, and you need to base the house pricing based on the size of the house. So I want to actually know for sure. Like one that we have, one of our investment properties we have listed, it was 400 feet smaller online. And that increased the price of our house like $50,000. Like we just need to know, right? Yours are pretty close. I'm seeing 1,800 to 2,200, but still, I want to just tighten that up a little bit. So we'll get that done, but that'll be dependent on what we do with that third bedroom. You won't have a staging list. We're going to go vacant and virtually stage. If repairs, we're going to go through Delane's list after this. As we get closer to list, all the disclosures about your property are going to come to you. This is the home and the condition that you know it to be, where your drinking water comes from, etc. So you'll get a huge influx of paperwork that will come from us. That'll be real close to listing though. So that's your disclosures. We have a pre-photo shoot checklist. Again, I'll have Delane come day of photos, even though it's vacant, just to make sure ceiling fans are not on, windows are open, toilet seats are down. My photographer usually takes good care of me too, but I'm pretty particular. So I'm just going to have her pop in for 15 minutes, just make sure it looks as I want it to. And then you guys have the pool in your neighborhood, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so I am going to do some drone footage just to show the proximity to the pool. And it's nice that you don't back to 4th Street. So I want to kind of show that too, because when we go over comparables and what's selling and what's not, there's a real clear line of what is selling and what's not, and we'll go through that. But part of it is 4th Street. It's nice that you're tucked back a couple houses on a side street.
Sure.
We'll get your comments professionally written, your listing comments, flyers ordered. So I do a whole slew of in-home marketing materials. All the houses that I've sold, I just want to make sure that all of the information is in your house that any agent could have a question about, right? We're going to have your HOA docs. We're going to have your seller's property disclosure. We're going to do feature cards. And part of that is going to come and you're going to help me fill it out. So I just ask that you stay on top of the paperwork that I send you because it all has a purpose.
Sure.
And then it does not sound like we can do signage in your neighborhood. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so. They're pretty strict about that.
Okay. Are you even allowed to do anything in your window, like on the interior of the house, or not even that?
Yeah, I believe anywhere around the front porch is acceptable, but the front porches are kind of hidden anyway, so it doesn't do a whole lot.
Okay. Once we get HOA docs, let's figure that out, because I mean, signage is just helpful. So like, can you have, like I have a different townhome for sale in Greeley right now, and we have the sign literally like zip tied to their front porch. Is that what has to happen in your neighborhood?
Yeah, I mean, there's a little rock area I think you can play with too. So I think anywhere in front of the townhome is kind of appropriate to put signage.
Oh, okay. You can have signs there. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you couldn't.
Well, I think it's just mainly for like anywhere up, like towards the street or like the public sidewalk type of situation.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Well, that's good to know. So then we'll just do traditional signage.
Okay.
We have a realtor database that we promote to, and then we're going to list to the MLS. So important thing to know is you will go on the Northern Colorado MLS and you will go on the Denver MLS. So a lot of agents only list to one or the other because they don't want to pay the fees, but they do not communicate with each other well. So that way, if Denver agents are working up here, then they're getting it in their inbox as well. You'll get a virtual tour. So we will get a video tour of your property, and you will also get a property website. And then we buy Google and Facebook ads. And so they're geo-targeted for your property, just to try to push out social media into other exposure lanes. So for showings, we'll just put it on a go and show. That just means anybody can show it whenever. The showing service is licensed realtors only can schedule through it. What I will tell you, I don't know what's been happening lately. I have been getting so many no-shows, and only knowing because my clients have Ring doorbells or whatever. On this other Greeley townhome, I bet in the last month I've had 4 no-shows. I don't know if agents are chasing down online leads that aren't converting, or I'm not sure what's happening. So just know I will ask for feedback on the property. I ask for it 4 different times. And that's just saying, hey, you brought your buyer through. What'd you think of the price, the condition, etc. Just to help us kind of navigate what people are thinking. We are seeing less and less feedback come through. And it's so unfortunate and it's not helpful at all. But there was some lawsuit and somebody got sued over something that they put in a feedback. And now agents are saying, oh, I don't do feedback because of the lawsuit. And I think, fortunately, I think it's mostly because they're lazy. But if you don't see feedback coming through, just know the best. I proactively text every agent that's going to show your house, so they have my cell phone number. I let them know what commission that you're offering, because that no longer goes out public facing. And just to let me know if you have any questions. And then if I don't get feedback, I text them. But I'm telling you, realtors get harder to wrangle every year. But I will get you as much feedback as I can.
Okay.
And then once we get a contract, we're not really in multiple offer territory right now. If somehow we got more than one offer, I will put it on a spreadsheet for you. If there's a lender involved, I'm always going to call to confirm that borrowing strength, right? Have you pulled credit, verified income, assets? Like, how far are we? Because lenders are just like realtors. There's some really great ones and some really not great ones. And sometimes people just toss out pre-approval letters and they haven't really done anything but talk to somebody on a phone. So we'll make sure that gets taken care of too. And then continue to show once you're under contract. We always want to keep the door open. They will almost likely come to a screeching halt though, but we will say, hey, you can still show this house even though it's under contract. They will do a home inspection, right? The 2 big hurdles are your home inspection and your appraisal. And right, they have the right to ask for repairs. And I have seen everything from, they put everything on an entire inspection report on, to they're very reasonable and they ask for a few things. What I always advise my clients is, hey, we need the house to be safe and we need stuff to be working that should be working. Okay. But we are not required to bring your 2007 home up to 2026 code. We are not required to do cosmetic repairs. So just know some people are very unreasonable there, and I will help buffer that. Okay.
Okay.
But just when you're doing your budget and your bottom line, it does not stop when your house is on the market, right? We got to remember to save some money for inspection. I always say save a few $1,000s there, especially if the roof is already taken care of and the HVAC and water heater are newer. We should be golden, but people are still going to ask for something, okay? Usually that's when people get the most stressed out, is during inspection, but I know way more than the most average person. My husband knows pretty much everything. He's actually considering getting his GC license. And so if we ever need another set of eyes, my husband will come in back up for us and help us figure it out. So, okay. Appraisal's the value of your home. If we're under contract at 335 or 350 or whatever we're under contract for, the bank wants to know that's what it's worth. Okay. So they're going to send a third party out to confirm price. We have one comparable for you, really. There's really just one house that is your comparable that we're going to talk through. I put all the data in there because I'm a data nerd and I don't know you yet. And if you want to be a data nerd with me, you have it all. But I'm really just going to talk through one house and the importance of that house. And I've actually talked to the agent about that house too, because you have this bigger, more townhome style, but in that neighborhood, you've got a variety of different kinds of condos. So we really just have one good comparable, and sometimes that's all you need.
Okay.
They'll do a final walkthrough just to make sure the home is in the condition upon when they offered, and then you'll sign for possession. So usually buyer and seller are together. Delane will meet you, and you'll sign the paperwork. So that's the quick skinny on the process. Do you have any questions there?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. All right. So let's go into a second here. Okay. So let's go into your house pricing. Okay, you've looked at it already. So I'm going to just give you the quick skinny of what's up, and then I'm going to show you what's going on. The quick skinny is what's selling over there is, well, and honestly, because I have another townhome in Greeley that I'm having a hard time selling, I've been doing a lot of just Greeley townhome research lately. And this is a townhome style condo, same kind of difference. Main floor, primary bedrooms are a huge differentiator right now. So that's your older folks generally. I don't want to say you have to be old to want a main floor primary.
No, I understand.
But that's a huge line in the sand, because even when I look, so I look just in your neighborhood, then I look a mile out. And if I have enough data, that's where I stop as far as my research for pricing this house. But I've looked further in Greeley. And so we don't have that, right? The other thing is most of them selling in your neighborhood are 2 bedrooms, right? And obviously you're a 2-bedroom, but you have this additional space because you're more of this townhome style condo. And so that's the quick skinny. So let me show you kind of what I'm thinking here. So I'm going to just tell you a little bit about how I price so you understand how I came up. So I'm going to price as an appraiser is going to work there, right? Because that's who we need to see the value of the house too. So you'll see here your square footage online is 2177. The floor plans that were on your previous listing had it at 1900 and something, but then they counted some spaces not in there, which didn't entirely make sense to me. That's why I want to get my own floor plan guy there that I trust. So I've gone off the 2177 for now. If we have to redo that, we will. But that is your square footage range is 20%. And so we look at 20% bigger and 20% smaller. If you're wondering what that range is, if it's outside of that range, it would not be considered a similar property. Okay. So that's there. Your buying pattern. So I moved it over here just so we could see it all together. But your buying pattern is pretty specifically coming into the exact season that you're selling. So that's a huge benefit, right? Like if we list you in May, a 30-day closing, if you got an offer right away, puts you at a June or July closing. So that is to your benefit. And then of the properties that I compared you to, you'll see here, let me get this a little bit bigger. The average days to close for the ones that sold was 64. So what that means is it's taking about 30 days to go under contract, and the average price was 320, but you have to realize we only have really one comparable for you. And this is looking at all of the summer park condo activity. So just remember there's a nuance there. Okay. But that's what's selling, because why we have to work really hard at selling your house and make sure that we're doing it the right way, you're going to see here in just a second. So I wanted to show you this one because, right, obviously you've been on the market before, you didn't have a good experience. Well, here's what has sold, right? And then up here is, let's see, this one was your house. So if you look at this line, even if it went straight out, you're still above any sort of reasonable price for this house. And that is in your finished square feet, which you have a lot more of. And total square feet over here is way up here. And the red are the ones that did not sell, right? So right away, when I looked at my 10-minute look, I was like, you're overpriced, right? Pretty significantly. So what happened there? Was that a price that you were wanting? Was that a price that the agent, how did
it
you
was a little bit of in the middle of what we were both looking at, but like I said, I just don't think she had the experience for this type of house in the market that we're in right now. So I'm really appreciate the numbers that you're diving into, because I am a numbers person as well.
Okay. I'll nerd out on numbers and real estate. So, okay. So I'm not going to go through all of these 2 bedrooms. Okay. They're in here if you want to look at them. The only ones that are selling are the ones that have either been updated since 2007, or they have a main floor primary bedroom. That is it. There is nothing else that is selling, right? And so, sorry, what is this doing? There we go. So I'm not going to bore you because I know you've got this meeting coming up too. So let me find your one comparable, the one that I want to talk to you about, because this is just, these are all the ones that are available. A lot of stuff is on the market, so we need to be super thoughtful about that. Right now, between 325 and 400 is 17 townhomes on the market in Greeley. So there's just a lot for people to pick from. I really like your location. It's a good location in town. Delane says it's in good shape, but obviously it's also pretty original to when it was bought as far as condition, right? So just something that we need to be thoughtful about. Okay. So they're all in here. I made some notes on these. Let's see. Was it this one? Sorry. Okay, here we go. So here's really the house that we need to talk about, okay? Because we've got the same house as yours right, that has sold. This was unit 69. It listed, let me make this a little bit bigger. It listed for 345, sold for 335, took 90 days to contract, okay? And then 120 days to close is what this number is. But it's that 2,200 total. Now, it did not have the basement finished. But what I will tell you is there's not a huge value add to a finished basement that is nothing more. It's basically, right, it's drywalled and floored right now. There's not really a value add down there. And that's what we need to talk about is, do we want to list? Here's my 2 thoughts for you. And I work for you, you decide. We can keep you and just get the carpet done and do some paint and a little bit of stuff. And I think our list price is $335, even with the finished basement. If you want to try $340, we could. But what I'll tell you is what's been super interesting about this market is I'm going to call them micro adjustments matter. So we have not historically been in a market where $5,000 or $10,000 matters, right? When we were in that, when you bought this house in 2019, right? You could have gotten this house on the market within $25,000 of what it should have been lifted at, depending on the price, maybe even $50,000, and it's probably going to sell. Micro adjustments just matter. So my best advice to you right now is if you want to keep it as a 2-bedroom and not put the money into a 3-bedroom, it's going to take us longer to sell. It's not going to take us probably 30 days. I imagine we're looking at this 90 to 100 days because 2 bedrooms are just the amount of, so I've sold almost 500 houses. The amount of people that have come to me and set up on a 2-bedroom property feed, I should know an accurate number because I didn't used to always track my numbers, but I honestly bet is less than 10. And for those people that did it, it was usually only price point driven, meaning I don't know why I help a lot of firefighters, helped another firefighter. He bought a house in Wellington and we did a 1-bedroom for him because he had no money. And I said, we just need, but he wanted a single family house. He's like, I'll take anything that's a single family house. I think I actually even put 0 bedrooms because he would have bought a 1-room house. You know what I mean? So it's just such a small market, Garrad, that like, I think it's going to be better to add the 3rd bedroom in. What I think that we could do at the 3-bedroom price then is get you up to 350. So it's not a big, awesome, like, woohoo, I get a whole bunch more money because I just don't think the data's here. This one here, and I'm going to show you a little bit why. So this is your best, really your best and only comparable is this one. And there's all this, if you read this, it's like, oh, you could do a lease option and whatever. And I was like, is that why this sold? Did this sell to a lease option, which basically means you turn into a renter with the option to buy it? And he said, no, it actually sold regular with a loan. So I just want you to know that too, that there wasn't some weird stuff that made this sell for less. Agent was super helpful when I called him. So, but the one, is it this one? Yes. So I just wanted to show you what needs to happen to get us up towards that 400 price that you were at before. I think you're at 390. This was 390.99 and it's 3,000 square feet and it's a full 3-bed, 3-bath. And right, you've got an end unit, more patio home style home. So we're just not there. I don't have a way to get you there. And since you've already been on the market before and right, didn't get the appropriate activity, I just think we have to be super thoughtful about those micro adjustments and you can't overprice. It's going to kick you in the foot, right? And if you do 335 and go 2 bedrooms, just know that a conversation that I would want us to have is if it's not selling in 45 days, maybe we need to go to 325. And the reason that is because there's things called pricing brackets. So every $25,000 is statistically how people search. You get bigger brackets at 50 and 100, right? You shop up to 350 or 400, but we get new brackets at 325. So listing at 335, we'd need to get down to 325 to get into new inboxes and in front of new people. Okay. So, that's my recommendation. So obviously, if you were hoping for this 390 price, I don't have that number for you, but my goal is to sell your house. So Also, I just wanted to show you, we even have new construction selling at the 350 number with a 3-bed and a 3-bath. So we've got to be super, super thoughtful about how we're pricing this, right? And that's why I don't think you're over 350 if we do the 3rd bedroom. I think the 3rd bedroom is likely going to make it sell more quickly, but knowing that we have new construction selling at 350, I never guarantee a sales price anyways, right? Especially in this market, just know that that may not be where we land. Okay, so I just need you to be really thoughtful about the money that you put in and make sure that your bottom line works, because we may be having to have the discussion of 350 did not work, so we need to look at a reduction. Okay, and how I like to handle price reductions is thoughtful price reductions that matter versus I am not the agent where we're going to price reduce 2,500 or 5,000 every 2 weeks. You start to look desperate and it's not good for your bottom line. So if we're going to do a price reduction, and you don't have to listen to me. I have clients actively not listening to me right now and their house is not selling. Right? Like they did a price reduction to 355. And I was like, guys, get to 350 so it gets in this whole huge new price bracket. Nope. So I have suggested 2 different price reductions. They haven't listened on either one. And so just know I'm here to advise. It's your house. But if it stays on the market longer and you're not listening to me, all that I ask is just don't get mad at me, or maybe just listen. I kind of know what I'm doing, but every once in a while you get people that don't listen.
Yeah, just so you know where my perspective is right now. I mean, beforehand, yeah, would I like to get more equity out of it? Sure. But I mean, we're running into this timeline where I just need to get it sold. So whatever we sell it as is fine with me as long as we get it sold. So I'm super flexible with the price.
Okay. Well, let's look at your money then. Okay. Because you got to know your money. Did she give you a net sheet when you sold?
No.
Okay. Mainly I want that because I'm recording this, because so many agents don't, and it's so important. How are you supposed to make decisions if you don't do a net sheet for somebody, right? Like you got to know your numbers. So I did one at 335 because that's the low end, right? I think we can go higher if we do the 3rd bedroom. But 335 feels good. I would feel as sure as I can that if we have to price reduce the 3.25. So I want you to know that I feel like 3.25 should be your bottom, and I hope I can bring you more than that. But that's why I did this starting here. So you look at your credit of 335. Here's your mortgage payoff that you sent me of that 247 and some change. You'll pay taxes for the time that you own the house. Okay. So this is an estimate, and just know this is getting you in the ballpark. This is not, you can't hold my feet to the fire here. Taxes will be adjusted. Your mortgage will go down some, right? So these numbers will move a little bit. And then, so I work for and highly recommend 6%. So I myself work for 3%. Okay. As your agent, that's the 10,500. That's my commission. Commission is negotiable, right? But that's my fee. I highly recommend offering 3% to the buyer's agent. You can offer 0% if you want. You can say, I'm not going to pay your realtor. What happens is if you offer less than 3%, agents, it's not legal, but it happens all the time. They will steer your clients away. And what I do know is new construction that we're competing with is absolutely offering 3%. Okay. So I'm going to highly recommend it. You don't have to do it, but you should. And then that also allows me, when I do this intro text to every showing that you're going to have, is, hey, my seller is offering a 3% co-op. Before they even show, I'm speaking to what agents want to hear the most, which is how much am I going to get paid? So at 10,500 there, then there's a closing fee that you pay to the title company at 275. That's based on your purchase price. And then, that's your doc prep and money disbursement, your 275. Your title insurance is based on your sales price. So if your sales price is higher, this goes up a few bucks. If it's lower, it goes down. And that's just to transfer a clean and clear title to your buyer. So your title company fee is here. Here's owner's extended coverage. It's just a second layer of title search. It's $1 a page to record. And I did put in here proactively $5,000 in closing costs. So this is a number that I don't know, but I want it to be in here so you can make decisions. That is if the buyer asked you for money to close their loan. Closing cost, okay? I kind of did an average of what I'm seeing out there. I'm seeing anything from no closing costs. I've seen all the way up to 15,000 and anything in between. I'm not regularly seeing something as high as 15,000. And I will do a net sheet with an offer, right? So if you have a different offer price and a different closing cost, we can adjust this net proceeds. So that leaves you close to 60 at 335 if you're going to pay the full 6% and the seller paid closing costs. So the 60, let's say 50 worst case scenario, does that get you from A to B? I don't know. What's your plan with your money?
Yeah, I mean, if that's what we got to do, that's fine with me. I mean, like I said, selling it at this point and trying to cut ties with this rental property is the most important thing right now. So,
Okay.
whatever we make out of it is great.
Well, it's still a huge investment, right? What'd you
Yeah,
buy it at? 290. Now
290.
you
Yeah,
paid down your mortgage. Like, hey, 50, 60 grand in your pocket is still 50 or 60 grand.
no, for sure.
And what I'm telling people, and look, I get it, right? Darren and I are actively liquidating some of our Colorado, well, all of our Colorado portfolio, because I think there's more investment opportunity where we live now in South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
You can still get a house with a 1 in front of it. Okay. I'm interested in those numbers. All kinds of people are moving here, right? We are going to the cleaners a little bit.
Yeah,
Get these properties out right now, right? Most of them are Airbnbs, so which come and go and how much people want them. And I just want you to know, like, if you have to sell or you're choosing to sell right now, it isn't the best market, but if it's the right time for you, let's just position you correctly. So
yeah.
just know I feel the pain, but I'm also making moves. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm moving in this market too for different reasons maybe than you are. And it's just a piece of the puzzle. But the nice thing is that's a huge, I mean, I don't know, you seem young to me. Seems like
Yeah,
that will be a good amount of money for you.
yeah.
Um,
It'll be for sure.
yeah, right. Okay. Here's that 350. So I just ran those numbers for you again. Why did my math not math here? Did my spreadsheet not work? Did I? Because my commission can't be the same on both pages. I just want to make sure I'm giving you the right. Okay, 10,500 is at the 350 number. So I had the commission wrong on the last page.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Oh, I hate making mistakes. I don't know what happened. It should automatically adjust. See here, that commission's not right. So 335 would be 10,050. It doesn't matter that much, but just FYI.
Mm-hmm.
I will, when you get an offer, I will make sure that my math. I don't know how my spreadsheet that's supposed to automatically worked in it, but we will get that. Okay. Any questions on your money?
No, I think we're on the same page when it comes to that, so we can
Okay.
move forward.
Okay. So you just let me know mainly what's going to need to happen today. I'm going to go into a few more things. I will just bring up real quick the email that Delane sent. And I'm not going to go over it because you've got to meet James here shortly because it's in your email.
Yeah, I looked at it briefly.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds like, are your walls gray and your carpet tan, or is it vice versa?
I think the carpet's more of a white, and then the some of the rooms are definitely like a gray paint, which needs to be repainted for sure.
Okay. So what my preference would be, so more of the, if we're going to be repainting grays, and I can actually get a paint color to you if that's helpful. But what is actually coming back is more of the natural color tones. So
Yeah.
think more of like a creamy beige on the walls. And then we want the carpet, just make sure it can be builder grade. You could do the lowest level of carpet. It can be off the rack Home Depot, but get the carpet that's in the brown family, but that looks almost like speckled. So it has like some darker pieces and some lighter pieces because it just doesn't show dirt or wear or whatever. You don't want to go put in a carpet that's gonna, I don't want it to get dirty right away. Like if it's white carpet in there, let's not put anything in that's gonna somehow get dirty or look rough after showings. So I would just say if you're gonna get rid of the gray, let's get rid of the gray and get it more creamy. So if you have gray in some rooms, what's in the rest?
The rest is kind of that neutral, like cream color that you're talking
Okay.
about. So I would just kind of match or redo
Yes.
the more natural color.
Yep. And then let's just get, and I can send you a picture of the carpet that I'm talking about. You could go to any Home Depot and it'll be on the rack.
Mhm.
You just get it in that beige tone that has, like I said, it just has a few different hues. It wears well, but do not get any sort of an upgrade. Do not upgrade your pad. Do not upgrade your carpet. Get the absolute cheapest product that you can. All that they're going to
Yeah.
care about is that it's new carpet.
Hmm. Yeah, that's kind of what me and John were talking about yesterday, and that's the route that we went. So
Okay, perfect.
Yep.
So when you talk to James, just go through, and you're going to be in the house with him, so show him the
Mhm.
painting that needs to be done. Painting is expensive. I don't know why it's so expensive. And I know James has painted for us, and I'm sure that he is a fair price. That would be a good way for you to save money, though. Like, I know y'all, especially at your station, are super close. Like,
Yeah.
it might be worth a pizza party and having your friends come over to save money. Have him quote it for you, because I know you're busy too, but I don't know. I swear I've painted 20 houses, and that's not even a lie, just because it's just labor intensive, and labor costs
Yeah.
money, right? You're going to pay James however many dollars per hour. It just takes a while. So if you
Yeah.
want to save money, save it there.
Okay.
So just think about, I would love, before you say yes to James, unless you just know you're a yes, let's figure out how much that third bedroom costs and make sure that it makes sense. But I think it would, and make sure that he identifies where your plumbing stub is down there. And is it
Mhm.
covered, or do you know, like, is it covered with
Honestly, I haven't even seen it down there, so I'm not sure that they did any rough-ins or anything.
okay. I'm really hoping that they did. So just
Yeah.
ask James while he's there. You're not buying right now. That's what this next page is for. So this is just some of the homework that I'm going to send you. You're going to tell me why you like the location, the home features, and the neighborhood, because you've lived there. Know it better than me. And your home features. So this is where you're going to say new HVAC in 2024 or whatever.
Mhm.
Whatever, all of the things, and not just stuff that's new, but like, and I can't remember from your photos if you have a fireplace, but that would be another example. So if there's anything that we want to draw the buyer's attention to, pantry, fireplace, additional storage, all of that goes on here, because we're going to make little cards and place them around the house, because we want to highlight everything awesome about your house while we're in there. Just the benefits of a pre-inspection. Like I said, I don't think we'll need those. Excuse me. This is a really good thing for you to go through, especially for the age of your home. Remind me, are you handy?
Yeah, I can do some things.
Okay, so this is like, make sure all the light fixtures work, check the weather stripping, install a new furnace filter, etc. Right? It's
Mhm.
stuff that can look, damaged screens, stuff that just looks like deferred maintenance. So I just moved, we move all the time, but I just moved again. And this house just had so much deferred maintenance, right? And so it just showed horribly. Like, we live on the lake, we live on a lake called Lake Hartwell here. And this house still got like 5 offers, but it could have sold. We could turn around and sell this house for more, because this house just looked rough, right? Like,
Yeah.
just like outlets. Like, one of Delane's thing is, it sounds like some registers and stuff are falling off. Make sure all your outlets are attached and you don't have broken outlet covers. It sounds like you have some black ones. Like, get them
Mhm.
matching. Like we said on our initial call, I need you to get this. I'm not going to ask you to go put in granite and do all this other stuff, but what you have needs to be in what I call cream puff condition. So if you see anything that Delane didn't see, if James has a really keen eye, if he sees anything, just take care of it. Like, just make sure people walk in and are like, yep, this house has laminate counters. It's this build, but it is in wonderful shape. And so that's just a good list for you to look at.
Okay.
Okay. Getting ready for photos, I'll just send Elaine over, because since you're not living there, if you were living there, we'd have more to talk through. My husband and I are a team, but we do our business very separate, unless I need to pull him in for inspection or something, I will. And then Christy, so she will be, after today, this next piece of paperwork that we're going through. Once you sign our next document, that officially forms our team, and that will initiate the process. You will not get disclosures yet, because I don't want to send out disclosures 2 months before we're listing. One thing I need to know from James too, so get your bid, figure out a plumbing rough, and then his timeline.
Okay.
How long will it take? And obviously figure out if John, I'm guessing, comes after James, but we'll just need to get all of that coordinated. But Christy does all of my paperwork, keeps me organized, and so just make sure that when she sends stuff to you that you take care of it in a timely manner. Okay, so that's it, other than this last document that I need to go through with you that is the document that forms our team. Do you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Okay, so you've signed one of these before when you bought and when you sold. And so I'm going to go over everything that I filled in and just stop and let me know if you have any questions. So the first thing, the most important thing is how I'm going to represent you, and I'm going to be your seller's agent. So this means I have a fiduciary responsibility to you. So the price that I'm suggesting is and the strategies that I'm suggesting are what I believe is the best way to get your house sold. Okay. Today's date, I work for eXp Realty. I used to own my own company, but that's who I work for now. You as the seller, my firm as eXp, me as the broker, obviously your property's in Weld. Your address here, and it's not affordable housing. Sorry, let me get this back up. I do this for 6 months. But if we need to extend it, we will. I'm sure hoping not. Let's just do it right the first time. If we put a contract, a deadline in here that falls on a weekend or a holiday, it will just extend to the next banking business day. And I do want to take a quick minute, and I didn't talk about my schedule yet. So a teeny bit about me and my story. I used to sell all the houses and own a brokerage. I got super, super sick, almost died. And I'm re-entering the business as of pretty recently. So Darren has mostly been carrying the selling in our business. And what got really clear to me then is I have to have boundaries in my business because I had a disease brewing, but I think how hard I worked made me, I think I escalated my own sickness, if that makes sense. Like if you saw a driven person, you'd be like, that's Aaron. I'm super excited. I love this business. I love everything about real estate. I love that it can build wealth. I love financial freedom, but I have to have parameters. So my team works within standard business hours. So 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'm on Eastern time. So I would love you even more if you could scooch it up to your morning and my afternoon. I actually communicate that to the agent that's coming in with an offer because agents are the worst and they want me to be working Sundays at 9. I also found God in this process. I now go to church and I take Sundays off. And so I just ask that we don't have Sunday deadlines. I've really taken that time for church and family, and I just need to be in alignment in this season. So I just want you to know that, and it is working great. But as long as you're okay with that, and I get that you have a weird schedule, but I also know that you have flexibility in there. So I just ask that we do everything that we can during business hours, and that we keep everything out of the weekends if possible, which we totally should be able to. So you cool with that? I probably should have introed with that. Made you listen.
No, you're fine. It works out perfect. I'm a morning person. I like to get my things done right away. So it's going to work out great.
Okay, awesome. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And it's so cool because I'm just like, I just really feel like I'm getting connected with the best people. And honestly, everybody from your fire station has been the most amazing humans I've ever met. And so I really appreciate it. Okay, so what this says is if my marketing procures your buyer, that I can represent both parties, but it would have to be in the capacity of what's called a transaction broker. And what that means is so right now I'm like your coach, right? I'm in your corner. A transaction broker is more like I'm putting two parties that are in agreement together, but I can't negotiate for either one of you. And generally what Darren and I do is I would give that buyer to Darren. But we still have to be a transaction broker because we're a married couple, right? So we can't act like I can just negotiate for you and he would negotiate for somebody else. But I track my numbers. I think that's only 3% of my deals. It's very, very slim. And if it ever feels squirrely, I refer it out. You're my number one priority. Okay. And you would have to sign paperwork and all this that it's changing. This just allows me to tell other clients that there's an offer on your house. Okay. Are you in agreement with the 6% with the 3% getting paid to the agent that brings the buyer?
Yeah, that'll work.
Okay, so that's right here. 6% total, 3% going to the agent that brings the buyer. Okay. All of this NA is there's no other fees, and I don't get paid until your house sells. Okay. And remember, everything on the marketing map is my cost, the photos, the videos. I don't think we need a pre-inspection. That would be my cost. The floor plans are my cost. That's all my cost. Okay. Getting the house ready is your cost. This is my protection. This just says if I market your house and bring you a buyer, you can't fire me and sell to that buyer. So especially with social media, you could go find Bob Smith and try to be a jerk, I guess. My clients aren't generally jerks, but that's my protection. So not worried about it, but that's what that is. Okay. Limited third-party compensation, right? I'm paying for what I've agreed to pay for, and it actually is all listed out here, but anything else would be up to you. This just says that your property address will be on the MLS. Let me get my paper here because I got to get a couple notes written down. And I'll get this updated and filled in. So we'll do a manual lockbox. What are the last four of your cell?
Of my cell?
Mm-hmm.
6406.
Okay. Could have looked it up. Easier to ask you. So that'll be your lockbox code. Okay.
Okay.
This will allow appraisers, assistants, real estate brokers to come in. In Colorado, they do allow unlicensed assistants to show property, but it would have to be scheduled through a licensed agent. Okay. And I'll do that professional staging or photography. We don't have a staging consult, but I will pay for the virtual staging, pre-inspection, floor plans, creative writing, listing on all 800 websites, buying those Google and Facebook ads, listing on both MLSs and your in-home marketing materials are all what I'm in agreement to. Okay. Marketing termination, if anything in my marketing, I think somebody put somebody in a hot tub online, but you could terminate this agreement if there was something in my marketing that was offensive.
Okay.
Which there won't be. This just says you don't have another agent. You can only sign this with one person. I guess, where are you thinking price? We've got to start with a price so we can get the contract signed, but we can always update it. Are you thinking try to go 3 bedrooms and closer to 350? Are you thinking probably keep it 2 bedrooms and 335?
Yeah, I'm leaning more towards the 335 at 2 bedrooms, just because I'm not sure how much that quote's going to come back as, and if it's going to be worth the extra 350, and then have to eventually or potentially lower the price even with a 3rd bedroom. So
okay, let's see what it is. My hope is it's less than 5,000. I have no idea if that's at all reasonable. If so, I think just for your timing purposes, it's going to make sense, because how much is your mortgage payment?
it's 14 something, 1,400 and change.
And does that include your HOA?
No, and then the HOA with that 331.
So you're like 1,700.
Yeah.
So let's connect after the bid. I'm hoping that it's reasonable, because even if we have to sell at 340, even with a 3rd bedroom, I think it's going to go so much more quickly. I think we're going to have a timing issue, because we know that the other 2 bedroom took 100 days, and we're seeing that the other ones that sold took more like 35 days. And now I don't have data on a 3 bedroom in your neighborhood, right? So, but just based on what I know, so I'm hoping that we can do it, but that's the main reason why, because if we take 1,700 and multiply it by 3 more months that it's going to take to sell, do you see what I mean? I'm hoping.
No, absolutely. If it's around that 5,000, then I definitely consider it, but I have a feeling it's going to be a lot more than that.
Yeah, gosh, I don't know. Probably should ask my husband before this. He would know more. Let's just see though. So let's see and let's figure it out. Okay. And I forgot to check on 11.2. I'm just going to add VA because you would qualify for a VA buyer. If you accept an FHA buyer or a VA buyer, because it's a government-backed program, they can charge the seller up to $200. Just FYI, that's if an offer comes in there. It's hard to see, but the earnest money will set at $3,500. It's usually around 1%. Okay, so that's the money that they will turn in. Colorado has, I think, 27 contractual outs for a buyer. You will never keep somebody's earnest money. There's not really any outs. And just remember, when you sign a contract, the only way for you to get out of it, you have almost like a forced to sale clause, is if the house does not appraise, you are not required to drop your price. Okay. So just keep that in mind. This allows you to do a wire. Wire fraud is very real, and people still will not listen. Never, even in an encrypted email, send that information. I literally need you to pick up the phone and call the title company and talk to a human on both sides of your thing. Someone in the last year lost 80 grand again. I don't know why people don't listen. Okay. You have a 2-car garage, right?
Correct.
Okay, so line 262, you'll have to provide 2 garage remotes. If you don't have them, you'll just have to go get those generic ones. You don't even have to program them, but you'll need to leave them in like a drawer.
Okay.
Okay. And then here, how are we doing on time? Okay. I'm hurrying. Okay, what's included? So what are all your kitchen appliances that will stay?
The dishwasher, the stove, microwave. The tenant recently bought a new fridge, and the old one I gave away. So I could get a new fridge in there if it's absolutely necessary.
I would say, I can't remember your pictures. Are you stainless or not?
Everything's black except for the dishwasher. It's stainless.
Okay.
And then the sink is stainless too. I think I was trying to transition into the stainless route, but
Okay. So right now we have the dishwasher, the range, and the microwave. Just look on Craigslist or Facebook Marketplace, not Craigslist.
yeah, they're fairly cheap. I could get one easy.
If you can get one, it just has to work, and I need it to be clean. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's not a must. It's not going to be a deal killer. But again, based on your price point, you're
Yeah.
likely in a first-time home buyer price point. So again, it's just like something. But if you can, I know you can. I've never done it. Set a notification, because I know stuff sometimes just comes super cheap, but you got to be on it, kind of like white on rice. And I'm fine if it's black or stainless if you've got both, but just don't go. Okay. Okay. So
and then washer and dryer probably won't be included.
Okay.
Which I don't know why people would want to use washers and dryers to begin with, but
People like them. Are you
yeah.
taking them to your new?
No, the tenant again upgraded and got his own washer and dryer. So,
Okay.
and the other ones they needed replaced. So I don't have any.
Okay. So then I'm going to say you need a fridge. Can we agree on
Okay.
that? We can't
Yeah,
go
that's fine.
fridge, no washer and no dryer. That's just a little too much. So
Sure.
I don't care if it's used, just make sure it's clean. Okay. So we're going to, there just won't be a washer and dryer. So we're not excluding it. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to add refrigerator to the inclusions. Just figure that out. And just make sure you don't get it oddly small or something, okay?
Yeah, no.
Like it's not meant to be there, okay? No well rights, no growing crops are coming. Let's see. You'll convey a general warranty deed. There's your mortgage. There's your HOA of $331 a month. Possession will be delivery of deed. That just means you're going to give them keys at closing table. You don't live there, so we don't need to coordinate a move out. This just says that you agree to do the seller's property disclosure. That'll be the condition of the home as you know it to be. If we fixed anything, you don't need to talk about it anymore. If we fight over earnest money, the earnest money, let's see. This has it getting divided between the brokerage firm and the seller. So what happens is if you're going to drag me to earnest money court with you, we're actually going to have to split some of that cost. And so that's what's saying. I never have ever fought over earnest money. So we're just not going to. Okay. I got to mediation one time. And that's like if someone tries to not buy your house at the day of closing. Okay. But stuff like that just doesn't usually happen. Okay. Any settlement costs, kind of like we were talking about, that's going to come directly from the title company. Aaron's net sheets just to get you in the ballpark so you can make decisions. Okay. Here's wire fraud again. It's real. Do not open encrypted emails even. You got to maintain the property. I don't discriminate. I'm not a lawyer or a tax accountant. You can add them to our team. Mediation. Anybody wants to sue anybody, we're all agreeing to go to mediation first. If an attorney gets involved to represent you at a cost to you. And then, commission is turned into a big thing. So you understand that it's negotiable. We also offer a 100% satisfaction guarantee, right? So although this is a binding agreement, if you're like, hey, you guys thought Erin was awesome and I don't think she is, you can exit this at any time. I just ask for a written notice. And then the fee outlined in this agreement reflects the value and services provided. So that's my quick, skinny, and overview. So after all of that, what else?
That's really all I have. I think I'm on the same page as you, so I hope that this goes really smooth.
Okay, I do too. I will do
Yeah.
everything in my power to make it go smooth. Okay, you meet with James. You have Delaine's list. Talk it over with him. Get a bid on the paint and the couple other things, or decide if there's stuff that you're just going to take care of. And then just shoot me a text, or if it's worthy of a phone call, let's have a phone call after you get that figured out. Plumbing stub, and then also his timing if we decide we want to take care of it.
Okay.
That sound good?
Sounds good. Well, I'll reach back out to you as soon as we're done meeting, and I'll kind of let you or keep you updated with what he has in mind. So,
Okay. Well, that sounds perfect. Well, it's super nice to meet you, and I'm excited to work with you, and I'll talk to you here soon.
all right, perfect. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Jared. Bye-bye.
Bye.